Captain Do-hun Kim stood at the bridge of his ship, the Shield of Seoul, watching the stars drift by. The ship was doing its usual patrol near the edge of human space. It was a quiet day, just like any other day in the past 3 months. Do-hun liked quiet days, but sometimes they made him feel restless. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," said Jae-yun Park, his tactical officer. She was the best at her job, and her voice had that special tone it got when something wasn't right. "It's a distress signal, but I'd never seen anything like it before." Do-hun walked over to her station. The signal was indeed unusual. Instead of regular radio waves, it seemed to pulse with light, almost like a heartbeat. "Can you tell where it's coming from?" "Yes, sir. It's coming from Sector 7, about 20 minutes away at full speed." Jae-yun's fingers moved quickly over her screen. "The signal is getting weaker." Do-hun didn't hesitate. "Helm, set course for the signal's location. Maximum speed." He turned to his communications officer. "Send a message to command. Tell them we're investigating a possible first contact situation." The Shield of Seoul turned smoothly in space, its engines glowing bright as it rushed toward the signal. Do-hun used these minutes to prepare his crew. They had trained for first contact, but training was different from the real thing. When they arrived at the location, they found 2 ships. One was small, elegant, and seemed to glow with a soft blue light. The other was larger, dark, and clearly armed. The bigger ship was shooting at the smaller one. "Analysis?" Do-hun asked quickly. "The smaller ship's design is unknown, sir. It has minimal weapons, probably a merchant vessel. The larger ship matches known pirate configurations. They're using ion cannons, trying to disable the merchant ship." Jae-yun's voice was steady, professional. The merchant ship's glow was getting dimmer. Do-hun knew that meant trouble. "Open a channel to both ships," he ordered. "Channel open, sir." "This is Captain Do-hun Kim of the Earth Defense Force vessel Shield of Seoul. Stop your attack immediately." His voice was firm but calm. The only response was more shots from the pirate ship. "Sir," Jae-yun called out, "the merchant ship is sending us something. It's beautiful." On the main screen, patterns of light danced, forming into words. "Please help. We are luminary. Peaceful traders. No weapons." Do-hun made his decision instantly. "Helm, move us between the merchant ship and the raiders." Jae-yun, shields at maximum. "Let's show them what the Shield of Seoul can really do." The Earth ship moved smoothly into position, its large form now protecting the smaller merchant vessel. The pirates' shots hit their shields, making them glow bright blue. "They're increasing power to their weapons," Jae-yun reported. "Our shields are holding at 85%. "Send a message to the luminary ship," Do-hun ordered. "Tell them to stay behind us. We'll protect them." The response came in more patterns of light. "Why would you risk yourselves for strangers?" Do-hun smiled. "Because it's the right thing to do. Tell them that." The pirates, seeing their shots had no effect, tried a new approach. They split up, trying to get around the Earth ship to reach the merchant vessel. But Do-hun had expected this. "Jae-yun, remember that shield modification you were working on?" Jae-yun's eyes lit up. "Yes, sir. The bubble configuration. It's not tested yet, but now's a good time to test it. Make our shields cover both ships." Jae-yun worked quickly at her station. The ship's shields changed shape, stretching out like a soap bubble to cover both vessels. It made their shields weaker, but it meant the luminary ship was completely protected. The pirates kept shooting for another 10 minutes, but they couldn't break through. Finally, seeing they were getting nowhere, they turned and jumped away into hyperspace. Once they were gone, Do-hun ordered the shields back to normal. The luminary ship's glow had gotten stronger, and now it pulsed with many colors. "They're asking to send someone aboard," the communications officer said. "They want to thank us in person." Do-hun straightened his uniform. "Tell them we'd be honored." 20 minutes later, Do-hun stood in the docking bay with Jae-yun and his senior staff. The airlock opened, and they saw their first luminary. The being that stepped through was humanoid but seemed to be made of living crystal. Light moved under their surface like flowing water, creating patterns that somehow felt like emotions. They were accompanied by a human woman. "I am Ara Lee," the human woman said. "I work as a translator and cultural liaison for the luminary. This is Captain Ra, and we cannot thank you enough for your help." Captain Ra's body glowed with warm colors as Era spoke. "The luminary are a peaceful species," Era continued. "We focus on trade and cultural exchange. Pirates have been causing us trouble lately because they know we don't fight back." "It was our honor to help," Du-hun said. "Earth believes in protecting those who need it. Would you like to tell us more about your people? We'd be very interested in establishing formal relations." Over the next few hours, the humans learned about the luminary. They were indeed peaceful traders who had mastered biotechnology and light-based communication. They had been watching humanity from afar, unsure whether to make contact. "We were afraid." Era translated for Captain Ra, whose colors shifted to soft blues. "Many species in the galaxy see peace as weakness. They either try to take advantage of us or ignore us completely. But you protected us without knowing anything about us. You risked your ship and crew for strangers." Du-hun smiled. "On Earth, we have a saying. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. We couldn't just watch you being attacked." Captain Ra's colors became bright, almost like a sunrise. Through Era, they explained that this moment would be remembered in luminary history. It was their first experience with humans, and it had shown them something special about humanity. Before they left, Captain Ray presented Du-hun with a small crystal that glowed with warm light. "It's a friendship crystal," Era explained. "It's one of our most precious gifts. It will always glow warm when luminary are near, symbolizing the bond between our peoples." Du-hun accepted the gift carefully. "We look forward to building that bond," he said. "And know that if you ever need help again, Earth will be there." As they watched the luminary ship depart, now glowing bright and strong, Jae-yun stood beside her captain. "Sir," she said, "I think we just made history." "Yes," Du-hun agreed, watching the friendship crystal glow in his hand. "But more importantly, we made friends." The Shield of Seoul resumed its patrol, but things would never be quite the same. Word of the incident spread quickly through both human and luminary space. Other ships began to report similar encounters, luminary vessels approaching human ships, sharing their crystal gifts, offering trade and knowledge. A month later, Du-hun sat in his quarters, writing his daily log. The friendship crystal sat on his desk, its warm glow a constant reminder of that day. His ship had been assigned as the official escort for luminary traders in this sector, and he couldn't be happier about it. "Computer, add to log," he said. "Today marks 1 month since humanity's first contact with the luminary. Some say we were lucky to meet such peaceful beings first. But I think the luminary were lucky too. They found what they had been looking for, a species that would stand up for others, even at great risk to themselves. They found protectors, defenders, friends." He paused, looking out at the stars. "The galaxy is vast and often dangerous, but maybe that's exactly why we need to look out for each other." End log. The friendship crystal pulsed slightly brighter, as if agreeing with his words. Somewhere out there, luminary ships were traveling safely through space, knowing that if trouble came, they weren't alone anymore. They had found their guardians, their shields against the darkness. And humanity had found its purpose among the stars. 6 months had passed since the first meeting between humans and the luminary. Captain Do-hun Kim sat in a large meeting room on the luminary homeworld. The walls glowed with soft colors that showed the luminary's worry. Do-hun now understood their light patterns well enough to know something was very wrong. He looked down at the friendship crystal in his hand. Instead of its usual warm glow, it pulsed with quick, nervous flashes. Across the table, Era Lee, the human luminary translator, shared worried looks with the luminary leaders. They're called the Nexus Dominion, Eret explained, translating for the Luminary High Council. They've been taking over smaller worlds at the edge of known space. Their ships have been seen near our trade routes. Duhan nodded slowly. He had heard about the Dominion from his old friend, Ta Yang Choi, who now commanded the Shield of Seoul. The Dominion was everything the Luminary weren't: warlike, aggressive, and hungry for power. The Galactic Council won't help, Era continued, her voice tight with frustration. They say there's not enough proof of Dominion aggression, but we know they're coming. The Luminary can feel it. Duhan stood up and walked to the large window. Outside, the Luminary city sparkled like a sea of stars. Their buildings were made of the same crystal-like material as their ships, glowing with the combined light of millions of Luminary going about their daily lives. It was beautiful, peaceful, and completely unable to defend itself. His communicator beeped. "Excuse me," he said, stepping aside to answer it. It was Ta Yang. "Duhan, we just got new intelligence." Ta Yang's voice was urgent. "The Dominion. They're not just taking territory. They're specifically targeting species with valuable resources. And the Luminary have the most advanced biotechnology in known space." Duhan finished. His stomach felt heavy. "How long?" "A month. Maybe less. They're gathering a huge fleet." Ta Yang paused. "The Galactic Council is still debating what to do. By the time they decide, it'll be too late." Duhan thanked his friend and returned to the table. He looked at the worried faces around him, both human and Luminary, and made a decision. "Earth will help you," he said firmly. The Luminary's lights pulsed with surprise and hope. "We need to talk to Han Sol Moon." Han Sol Moon was Earth's best military strategist. She had helped design the shield bubble that had protected the Luminary ship during first contact. Within days, she arrived on the Luminary homeworld with a team of Earth's top military planners. "The Dominion expects an easy victory," Han Sol explained to the combined Human Luminary Council. "They think the Luminary have no defenses and that Earth won't risk war for an alien species. We can use their overconfidence against them." She showed them her plan, which she called Operation Lighthouse. It would use the Luminary's natural abilities with light and Earth's shield technology in new ways. The Luminary's cities and ships could be hidden behind special shields that looked like empty space. Earth's ships would seem to be alone, tempting the Dominion into a trap. "But we need time to prepare," Han Sol said. "And we need to keep this secret. If the Dominion finds out too soon." The next few weeks were busy. Earth ships arrived in small groups, pretending to be on routine patrol. The Luminary worked day and night, using their biotechnology to enhance Earth's shields. Duhan watched as his people and the Luminary worked together, teaching each other, helping each other. One evening, he found Ara in the city's garden, surrounded by glowing crystal trees. She was teaching a group of Earth engineers about Luminary technology, while nearby, human soldiers showed young Luminary how to use emergency evacuation pods. "It's amazing," Era said when she saw him. "In all my time as a liaison, I've never seen two species work together like this. The Luminary are peaceful, but they're not weak. And humans are strong, but they're not cruel. Together," she smiled, "together we might actually have a chance." But time was running out. The Dominion was moving faster than expected. Late one night, Duhan was woken by urgent news. The Dominion fleet had been spotted, and it was massive, over 300 ships. "They'll be here in 6 hours," Admiral Sun Mekang reported. She had just arrived with Earth's main defense fleet. "We're not fully ready." "We have to be," Duhan said. He looked at the friendship crystal on his desk, glowing steady and strong despite the danger. "The Luminary trusted us, believed in us. We won't let them down." Across the Luminary homeworld, lights dimmed as their cities activated their new shields. To anyone watching from space, it would look like an empty planet. Earth ships moved into position, their crews tense but determined. In the command center, Du-hun stood with Ara and the Luminary High Council. Through the windows, they could see Admiral Kang's fleet taking up defensive positions. The ships looked small against the darkness of space, but Du-hun knew each one was crewed by humans who had chosen to stand between their friends and danger. "The Dominion thinks they're hunting easy prey," he said quietly. "They're about to learn that humanity protects its friends, no matter the cost." The friendship crystal in his pocket glowed warm and bright, like a promise. Above them, Earth's ships waited in formation, shields ready. The trap was set. Now they just had to hope it would be enough to stop what was coming. Because the Dominion was about to learn a very important lesson. Never threaten someone under humanity's protection. The next few hours were tense. Du-hun used this time to check on preparations. He visited the emergency shelters where luminary families waited, their lights dim but steady. He spoke with Earth ship captains, making sure everyone knew their part in the plan. And he spent time with the Luminary High Council, reassuring them that they weren't alone. "In Earth's history," he told them, "there have been many times when powerful nations attacked weaker ones, thinking they would be easy targets. But sometimes those weaker nations had friends. Friends who stood up and said, 'No more.' That's what Earth is doing now." The luminaries' colors shifted to show their gratitude and determination. Through Era, they shared stories of their own history, times when they had helped others through healing and trade, not violence. "Perhaps," they said, "this is why our peoples were meant to meet. You protect with strength, we protect with knowledge. Together, we are complete." Admiral Kang's voice came over the comm system. Dominion ships detected entering the system. All ships to battle stations. Operation Lighthouse is now active. Du-hun watched as the city's lights dimmed completely, the shield technology making it invisible from space. On his screens, he could see the Dominion fleet approaching. Hundreds of dark ships, moving with cold purpose. "And so it begins," he said quietly, the friendship crystal pulsing with light in his hand. "Computer, send to all Earth ships. Remember why we're here. Remember who we're protecting. Stand fast." The Dominion fleet was about to learn that sometimes the darkness holds unexpected guardians, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy just how far they would go to protect their friends. The Dominion fleet appeared in the sky above the luminary homeworld like a storm of dark stars. Admiral Sun Mi-Kang stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Morning Star, watching as enemy ships filled her view screen. Her hands were steady on the command rail, but her heart beat faster with each new ship that appeared. 342 enemy ships detected. Her sensor officer reported, "They're moving into attack formation." Sun Mi nodded calmly. Earth's fleet was smaller, only 200 ships. But they had something the Dominion didn't, a reason to fight beyond simple conquest. Every human ship carried a friendship crystal, glowing with the trust the luminary had placed in them. "All ships, maintain position," she ordered. "Remember the plan. Let them think they'd surprised us." The Dominion ships moved closer, their dark hulls blocking out the stars. They expected to find a helpless planet full of peaceful crystal beings. Instead, they found a wall of Earth ships, shields glowing blue in the darkness of space. The Dominion commander's voice boomed across all channels. "Earth vessels, this matter does not concern you. Leave now, and we will forget this interference." Sun Mi smiled. The Dominion couldn't see the luminary cities below, hidden behind their new shield technology. They thought they were facing Earth ships alone. "This is Admiral Sun Mi-Kang of the Earth Defense Fleet," she replied. "The luminary are under our protection. Turn back now." The Dominion's answer came in the form of weapons fire. Hundreds of energy beams cut through space toward the Earth ships. But Sun Mi was ready. "Operation Lighthouse, Phase 1, she commanded. "All ships, defensive pattern Delta." The Earth fleet moved like dancers in space, their shields linking together just as Jai-Yun Park had designed months ago. The Dominion's weapons splashed against the combined shields, creating waves of blue light. On the morning calm, Lieutenant Yoon Hye-song watched the battle from her tactical station. She noticed something odd about the way the Dominion ships moved. Their ships turned slower after firing their main weapons, she told her captain. Like they're struggling with power distribution. Her captain passed this information to Admiral Kang. It was a small detail, but in space combat, small details could change everything. The battle grew fiercer. Dominion ships pressed forward, trying to break through the Earth fleet's defense line. Some Earth ships took heavy damage, their crews fighting to maintain their positions despite their injuries. Hold the line. Sun Mi's voice encouraged her fleet. Every minute we keep them here is another minute the Luminary stays safe. Below, in the hidden cities, the Luminary watched through their sensors. Their bodies glowed with worry and hope as they saw humans fighting to protect them. Do-hun Kim stood with the High Council, explaining what was happening above. Look there, he pointed to a display. See how our ships stay close together. We're stronger together, just like your cities. The battle had been raging for 2 hours when Yoon-ha made her discovery. She had been studying the Dominion's shield patterns, looking for any weakness. Her ship had taken damage, but she kept working. Their shield frequency changes when they fire their heavy weapons, she reported. There's a pattern. If we time our shots just right. But before she could finish, a Dominion blast hit the morning calm directly. The ship shuddered, warning alarms screaming. Hull breach on deck 4. Someone shouted, "We're losing power." Yoon-ha looked at her screen. The information about the Dominion's shields was there, but their communications were damaged. They couldn't send it to the fleet. "Captain," she said, "if we move closer, we can show the other ships what we found. They'll see the pattern." Her captain understood what she meant. They would have to put their damaged ship right in the middle of the battle, where everyone could see them attack at the right moments. "Do it," he ordered. "Show them the way, Lieutenant." The morning calm moved forward, its engines struggling. Yoon-ha watched her displays, waiting for the right moment. When the nearest Dominion ship prepared to fire its main weapon, she struck. Their weapons hit at exactly the right time, passing straight through the Dominion's shields. Other Earth ships noticed what happened. Soon, they began copying the morning calm's timing. But the Dominion noticed too. They turned their weapons on the damaged Earth ship that had discovered their weakness. The morning calm shuddered under their attack. "Shields failing," Yoon-ha reported calmly. "But the fleet knows the pattern now. They know how to fight back." Admiral Kang watched as the morning calm fought on, even as it took hit after hit. The ship's sacrifice was showing the whole fleet how to defeat the Dominion's superior shields. "All ships, protect the morning calm," she ordered, "and copy their attack pattern. Lieutenant Song has found us a way to win." Earth ships moved to surround their damaged friend, just as they protected the Luminary below. The morning calm's discovery began to turn the tide of battle. One by one, Dominion ships found their supposedly superior shields failing at crucial moments. More Earth ships took damage, but none fell back. The space above the Luminary homeworld became a sea of light as weapons fire met shields, and explosions marked where ships on both sides were hit. In the hidden cities below, the Luminary watched in amazement. They saw human ships taking hits meant for each other, working together in ways the Dominion couldn't understand. The humans weren't just fighting, they were protecting each other, just as they protected the Luminary. "Look how they shield each other," one Luminary elder said through Era, "just as they shield us. They understand the true meaning of strength." The battle raged for 6 more hours. The Dominion's larger fleet struggled against Earth ships that seemed to know exactly when to strike. Ships on both sides were damaged or destroyed, but the Earth fleet held their line. Finally, after losing 60 ships and seeing no way to break through the Earth fleet's defense, the Dominion commander called a retreat. Their dark ships turned away from the Luminary homeworld, disappearing into space like a storm that had failed to break the walls of the city. The Earth fleet had won, but at a great cost. Many ships were damaged, and some had been destroyed. The morning calm, which had shown them all how to win, barely held together. As rescue ships moved to help damaged vessels, the luminary cities dropped their shields, their lights glowing bright with joy and gratitude. The planet below looked like a jewel of moving light, celebrating their protector's victory. Admiral Kang sent a message to all ships. Today, we showed the galaxy what it means to be human. We protect our friends, no matter the cost. Every damaged ship, every injury, every sacrifice was worth it. Because that's what humans do. We shield our friends. In the command center below, Du-hun watched as Earth and luminary medical ships rushed to help the injured. The friendship crystal in his pocket glowed warmer than ever before, matching the pride and gratitude in his heart. The luminary High Council's lights pulsed with deep colors of respect and love for their human friends. Through Era, they said what everyone was thinking. Today, we learned what true friendship means. You didn't just shield us with your ships, you shielded us with your hearts. Above them, the stars shone on the battle-damaged Earth ships, each one a testament to humanity's determination to protect those they called friends. The galaxy had just learned an important lesson. Never underestimate the power of human friendship, or the price humans would gladly pay to protect those they cared about. 3 weeks after the great battle, the luminary homeworld glowed brighter than ever before. The planet's crystal cities shimmered with all the colors of joy as they prepared for a special ceremony. Ships from 20 different alien species filled the sky, each one coming to witness something remarkable. In the capital city's Grand Hall, Captain Do-hun Kim stood near a window, watching the sunrise reflect off the crystal buildings. His dress uniform still felt a bit stiff, but the friendship crystal in his pocket was warm and comforting. Beside him, Admiral Sun Mei-kang adjusted her own uniform, her medals shining in the morning light. "How many ships have arrived for the ceremony?" Du-hun asked. "Over 500, Sun Mei replied with a small smile. "Species that stayed neutral during the battle now want to learn about Earth's way of doing things. They want to understand why we fought so hard for the luminary." The Grand Hall filled with representatives from across the galaxy. The luminary High Council glowed with pride as they welcomed everyone. Ara Lee, now wearing both Earth and luminary symbols, moved through the crowd, helping different species talk to each other. Lieutenant Yoon Ha-song sat in a hover chair near the front of the hall. Her injuries from the battle were healing well, but she still couldn't walk. The crew of the morning column sat with her, their ship still under repair in orbit. They had earned the highest honors from both Earth and the luminary. Do-hun watched as more guests arrived. There were the tall, tree-like beings from the forest worlds, the small but quick-thinking Mindweavers, and even a few members of the Science Council who had once ignored the luminary's calls for help. They all came to see what would happen today. "It's time," Era said, approaching Do-hun and Sun Mei. "The High Council is ready to begin." The ceremony started with the luminary telling the story of first contact, how a single Earth ship had chosen to protect a stranger. The High Council's lights painted pictures in the air as they spoke, showing the Shield of Seoul moving to protect their merchant ship. Then they told the story of the battle. The hall fell silent as everyone watched the images of Earth ships forming their shield wall, protecting the luminary cities below. They saw the morning calm's brave discovery, and how the human fleet had fought together, shielding each other just as they shielded their friends. A member of the Science Council stood up. "We did not understand," he said through his translator. "We thought the luminary were weak because they chose peace. We thought Earth was foolish to protect them. We were wrong. Today, we want to learn." The forest world's representative spoke next. "Our people have always stayed apart, thinking it was safer. But Earth has shown us that true safety comes from standing together. We want to join this new way of thinking." One by one, representatives from different species stood up. Each one had seen something different in Earth's actions, but they all understood the same truth. Protection was stronger than conquest, and friendship was stronger than fear. The Luminary High Council's light patterns shifted to show deep joy as they made their announcement. They would create a new alliance, open to all species who wanted to learn Earth's way of protection and friendship. They called it the Guardian Accord. In the past, era translated for the High Council, alliances were built on fear or trade. This one will be built on friendship and protection. Earth has shown us that being peaceful doesn't mean being helpless, not when you have friends willing to stand with you. Sunmai stepped forward to speak for Earth. We protected the Luminary because it was right, she said simply. We didn't want anything in return. But what we got was more valuable than any payment. We got true friends. Today, we offer that same friendship to everyone here. The ceremony continued with each species adding their own promise to the Guardian Accord. The forest worlds offered their natural healing knowledge. The Mindweavers shared their early warning systems. Even the Science Council promised to use their research to help others instead of staying neutral. During a quiet moment, Du-hun found himself talking with a young luminary child who had snuck into the ceremony. The child's lights showed curiosity as they asked through their parents' translator, "Why did humans risk so much for us? You didn't know us very well." Du-hun thought about the battle, about the injured crews and damaged ships. He thought about how every human had fought without hesitation to protect their luminary friends. Sometimes, he said, you don't need to know someone for a long time to know they're worth protecting. You just need to know what's right. The child's lights sparkled with understanding. Then we will learn to be brave like humans, they said. Not to fight, but to protect others too. Later that day, after the ceremony, Du-hun stood with Sunmei and Yoonha in the crystal gardens. The friendship crystals they carried glowed in harmony with the garden's lights, creating beautiful patterns in the air. Things will be different now, Sunmei said, watching ships from different species flying together above the city. The galaxy is changing. Yoonha nodded from her hover chair. The Dominion thought they could bully peaceful species because no one would stand up for them. They didn't expect humans to care so much about protecting strangers. That's their mistake, Du-hun said softly. They thought being peaceful meant being weak. They didn't understand that protecting others makes you stronger than any weapon. As the sun set, the luminary cities began their evening light song, their buildings glowing with patterns that told the story of friendship and courage. In orbit, Earth ships patrolled alongside vessels from other species, all learning to work together. The galaxy had indeed learned something important. Humans would shield their friends at any cost. But they had learned something even more valuable, that this human trait could teach others to be brave in their own ways, to stand up for what was right, and to protect those who needed help. You know what the best part is, Era said, joining them in the garden. Every species that signed the Guardian Accord today got their own friendship crystal. The luminary made one for each of them. Du-hun smiled, touching the crystal in his pocket. Its warm glow reminded him of that first day, when a single choice to protect a stranger had started all of this. Then they'll always remember, he said, that no one has to face the darkness alone. Not anymore. Above them, the stars shone bright in the evening sky. Somewhere out there, the Dominion was learning to fear the consequences of threatening peaceful species. But more importantly, peaceful species everywhere were learning they didn't have to fear anymore. Because now they knew, if trouble came, they had friends who would stand with them. Friends who would shield them. Friends who would show the galaxy, again and again, that protecting others was the greatest strength of all.